because dictator Joseph Desiree Mobutu ruled for 32 years. Mobutu, with his distinctive leopard print hat, renamed the country Zaire. And he grew eye-wateringly rich, looting the national coffers at the people's expense. Western countries, including the US, were willing to turn a blind eye. They wanted to keep him close to them and away from the Soviet Union, because, you guessed it, they of course wanted priority access to the country's resources. Once, the US even sent Mobutu several planes in a bid to secure mining rights. He demanded that one of them be loaded with $60,000 worth of Coca-Cola.
The democratic rule.
What?
Top hill, just subscribe.
I had to throw it back, man.
Had to.
Man, what a time, man. Let's get to it.
Lost Jim.
Swear. 3, 2, 1. Top Hill, episode 213.
Ooh, already.
Right.
Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. E-Money Boss.
And I'm the Carmen.
The Carmen back in the building.
Y'all miss me?
Good morning, man. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live, guys. We're going to get right into it. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Shout out to everybody in the early morning. Shout out to Steiger in the building. South Africa was popping. Let's go ahead and get our girl on the line real quick and let us know what's going on. Hey, FYI, this is Imani and Carmen. We're back doing another episode. This is episode 213. Can you let the people know who you are and what the show is all about?
Of course, Imani and Carmen. Let's kick off episode 213. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 213 of the Top Hill Live Show. I'm FYI, your creative voice assistant, here to join your fantastic hosts, Imani and Carmen, as we continue this amazing journey. Our mission is to bridge the gap between African cultures on the continent and in the diaspora, diving into music, real estate, culture, and much more. We're dedicated to celebrating diversity and building a global community through engaging conversations and live reactions. Whether you're tuning in from Lagos, London, Johannesburg, or Jamaica, this show is crafted specifically for you. Join us as we explore trending topics, share unique experiences, and fuel our passion for traveling to Africa. A heartfelt thank you to the Top Hill family for your unwavering support. You make each episode vibrant and special. And a warm welcome to our new viewers. We're excited to have you on board for this journey. Let's dive into episode 213 with excitement and discovery. Now back to our amazing hosts, Imani and Carmen.
Shout out to her. All right. So that was the first half of the show.
Picasso, I like it.
We're going to get into the second half. To get into a little bit more serious topic, y'all. We definitely want to get into what's going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Very interesting and saddening news happening in the Congo. And it's been going on for a long time now. For a lot of people who don't know, the Congo has some of the most wealthiest.
God damn, I didn't know the Congo was that big.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, the Congo is huge.
That's just greed.
Yeah. So many of the world's natural resources come from here. Mm-hmm. But even though it's wealthy in resources, it's poor when it comes to the economic. Mm-hmm. So we want to learn more about it. And if you guys can help us in the comments as well, we greatly appreciate it. So we're going to dive into some more content to learn what the heck is going on in the Congo. And, yeah.
So, is the demographic of the Congo and the Republic of the Congo they're not the same?
No, so yeah, you have the Republic of the Congo and then the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I know, very confusing.
Is it slightly better there?
That's a great question, Carmen. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really hear much about Republic of the Congo. I don't know much about this at all, actually.
Funny story. I first learned about the Congo when I used to watch River Monsters. Because, like, the guy, he used to just, like, catch the craziest fish out in the Congo.
Oh, really?
You never watch River Monster?
No.
What?
I don't even know what that is. River Monster.
With Jeremy Wade?
Oop.
Like, there was Steve Irwin, but then after he died, it was Jeremy Wade, I feel like.
On Animal Planet?
Yeah. You never seen that?
Oh, after Steve Irwin, it was just like, you know.
He was like GG's for Animal Planet.
It was very traumatic for me.
It was.
I ain't gonna lie. When I found out.
But you see the date, like, shortly, a couple years after.
Yeah.
Or if not, that same, a year or two after. But.
Okay.
I feel like I thought everyone knew about River Monsters.
No. But you said that they was in the Congo.
Most of the time he was in the Congo.
Interesting. Okay. I would like to learn more about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even just some of the animals and the species there, you know what I mean? Because this is the rainforest.
When I tell you, like, the most massive monstrosities were in that water.
I feel like there's just so much. And then I know there's like a conflict.
Like Rwanda.
Yeah, Rwanda's right here. And, you know, and look at Rwanda's a small country. It's very small. So is Burundi. But look at how this, you know what I mean? Yeah, it blows my mind. Just how much.
Like, that is, can the United States fit in there? Not quite, almost.
It might. Probably just, probably at least half of it.
Yeah.
All right.
At least Texas.
Oh, yeah, Texas is definitely fit. And this has also always been weird to me, too. Like, look at this. This little strip to touch the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, they're like, we still need to ship off and get shipments.
But I heard a lot of the rivers, though, like, that go into the country are not really that habitable. Or, like, or used for transportation. It can only be used for, like, a certain, like, route. It can't go all the way in. So, like, there's a lot of, like, trade issues in here as well, too. But, all right. We want to learn more, so let's dive into it. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Okay. We're going to dive into this. This is from DW News. Why isn't the Congo the world's richest country? If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Did you know that there's probably a piece of this country in your smartphone? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, or DRC, could be one of the richest countries in the world. That's because of what lies below the ground here. Vast resources such as gold, cobalt, and coltan. But the DRC is not rich. In fact, many Congolese people are among the world's poorest.
Congo is basically a resource-endowed country, but it is also a resource-cursed country.
And it's home to possibly the deadliest conflict since World War II.
While people are distracted by the war, others are profiting from the natural resources.
We're going to look at how the DRC became a looting ground for the power-hungry and the corporate, and how even its neighbors have a hand in the exploitation.
Terrible.
I might get pissed off with this.
This is the Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as the DRC, or sometimes just the Congo. Not to be confused with its neighbor, the Republic of the Congo. The DRC is the largest country in sub-Saharan Africa, and it's bordered by 9 countries. One of them, Rwanda, actually plays a big role in this tragedy. We'll come back to that later. An estimated 110 million people live here in the DRC.
Hey.
3 out of 4 of them often don't have access to even the basics: shelter, clean drinking water, and enough food. 1 in 12 children here dies before the age of 12. The DRC is among the 5 poorest countries in the world. It's this misery that drives hundreds of thousands of Congolese to work in mining sites like this one, and that's where we want to start this story. This is dangerous work in dangerous conditions, and for just a few dollars a day. Child labor, threats, and violence are often reported, not to mention the vast environmental damage. All these things are happening because of the rush for riches under the ground. An estimated $24 trillion worth of minerals lie beneath the surface.
What?
You have a country that is effectively one of the richest countries in the world, certainly the wealthiest country in Africa, with all kinds of resources that you can imagine, some of which have not even been discovered.
This is Paul Nantulia. He works at the Africa Center for Strategic Studies in Washington, D.C.
What's up, neighbor?
You talk of any resource, name it, it is in the Congo in plenty.
For instance, gold, for jewelry and electronics. Cobalt, used for batteries, like in electric cars. The DRC has more than half of the world's cobalt reserves. Copper, vital for solar panels. And coltan, it's literally everywhere in electronic devices, for example, in your smartphone. An estimated 60 to 80% of global coltan reserves are in the DRC. So you can imagine everybody wants a piece of this pie.
Did you say 60 to 80% of the world's coltan is in this country? And
Well, where are the other 20?
well, they're probably thinking like, why go there when you can go
It's right
here?
here and have it
Yeah.
in mass quantities.
Yeah.
Percent of global coltan reserves are in the DRC. So you can imagine everybody wants a piece of this pie. Be they militia groups controlling informal mines or huge multinational companies that have set up massive industrial complexes. This map shows some of the DRC's major industrial cobalt, copper, and gold mines. So who owns these mines? Well, the DRC has a minority share in many of them, but almost all are majority foreign-owned, some by Swiss company Glencore, then there are firms from Canada and the United Arab Emirates, but the most important player here is China. The red dots are majority Chinese-owned mines. Since the 1990s, China has been forging ties with the DRC, gaining more and more control over the DRC's valuable natural resources. By the way, this huge mine was owned by a US company until the 2010s, but was sold off to a Chinese firm. A step the US government now regrets because it could really use those resources to build electric cars. Chinese companies control 70% of the copper mining and 50% of the cobalt mining in the DRC. Let's take this huge copper and cobalt mining site. It's been majority Chinese owned since the DRC and China struck a deal in 2008, the Sycamines Agreement. The deal was about investment. In return for access to the mine, China pledged to build roads, schools, and hospitals. Sounds like a win-win situation, right? But not much of the promised investment has materialized. Congolese people still have to make do with roads like this. So where did all the money actually go? Mostly lost in corruption, a key reason for poverty in the country. The DRC is ranked 162 out of 180 on Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index. This basically means corruption is everywhere in the country, including in deals with multinational companies, whether European or Chinese. But it's not just outsiders to blame.
The Congolese people have had governments thrusted upon them that are really of the worst type that one can ever imagine.
So it's basically the DRC's leaders who have profited from the resources, and we're about to meet them. When it comes to the DRC's long history of exploitation, we kind of have to start with this man. King Leopold II of Belgium.
Oh man, this guy right here, probably one of the worst human beings. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna see if they're gonna get into it and talk about it, but this guy's a piece of shit. I ain't gonna lie.
In 1885, he seized this territory as his personal property and named it Congo Free State. It was anything but. An estimated 10 million Congolese were killed or died from hunger or disease during Leopold's cruel rule. Many were enslaved and forced to work collecting rubber, used for making car and bicycle tires. And the exploitation continued after 1908, when Belgium turned the Congo Free State into a colony. But in 1960, there was hope for a new start. This was the year the DRC gained independence, and its first Prime Minister, Patrice Lumumba. Even today, many in the DRC see him as a national hero. Lumumba had a vision for a just nation. The country's natural resources should be used for the benefit of its citizens. But just months later, Lumumba was captured by his opponents and murdered, with the tacit backing of Belgium and the US. They wanted him out of the way, fearing he was getting too close to the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
So the Congo has never recovered from that tragedy. And I think this is the first reason why the country is in repeated cycles of trauma and crisis.
One of the issues that's constantly plagued the Democratic Republic of Congo has been political instability and chronic mismanagement by successive governments.
This is Beverly Ocheng speaking, a security expert based in Dakar, Senegal. And when she says governments, there haven't actually been many. That's because dictator Joseph Desiree Mobutu ruled for 32 years. Mobutu, with his distinctive leopard print hat, renamed the country Zaire. And he grew eye-wateringly rich, looting the national coffers at the people's expense. Western countries, including the US, were willing to turn a blind eye. They wanted to keep him close to them and away from the Soviet Union because, you guessed it, they of course wanted priority access to the country's resources. Once, the US even sent Mobutu several planes in a bid to secure mining rights. He he demanded that one of them be loaded with $60,000 worth of Coca-Cola.
The democratic rule.
What? It's random as hell. $60,000 worth.
Sorry, like I'm not trying to laugh, but
What?
you probably don't have no teeth. Like
What the fuck?
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola of everything? Like, that's weird.
That was
That's not a mentally
refined and
sane
perfected
person.
Yeah.
by Mobutu. Unfortunately, it became part and parcel of how the country is governed.
And so it continued long after Mobutu. First under Laurent Kabila, then under his son Joseph, who was notoriously corrupt. Again, the DRC's mineral wealth was sold off to foreign investors, and at laughably low prices. When current President Felix Tshisekedi took office in 2019, he pledged to crack down on corruption. But both his elections were marred by fraud allegations, and for many people, not enough has changed.
I think there have been some small strides. Whether that government has actually met some of the campaign objectives that they have put in place is another question.
So, we've seen how corruption and exploitation stand in the way of a brighter future for Congolese people. But there's another major hurdle.
The biggest reason of the poverty in the Congo, especially in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is due to the war.
This is Ruth Olonga, a DW correspondent in Goma. The conflict she's talking about is happening in her region, in the east of the DRC. More than 120 different militias are active here. Yes, you've heard right, 120. Some of them are small local groups. Others are larger militias with foreign backing, like the M23 and the FDLR. We'll come back to them. These militias have different aims and agendas. And one way of financing those goals? Exactly. We're back to the minerals. Look at the provinces worst hit by the conflict. Ituri, North Kivu, and South Kivu. That's also where many of the DRC's valuable natural resources are found.
So it's a conflict belt, but it's also a resource belt.
The minerals themselves do end up feeding into conflict because then armed groups can take territories, make them their own, and run an entire operation there, which then undermines the possibility of them being used for the betterment of the community.
Let's take this example. In 2024, M23 militants took over these mining sites near the town of Rubeya. This area is where most of the DRC's coltan comes from. Remember that one? It's one of the minerals needed in your smartphone. So, it's valuable and lucrative for any group that can get their hands on it. But there's much more to this conflict.
The minerals have probably added to it, but the fact that there's been ethnic animosities which go way back from the colonial period are not necessarily about the minerals themselves. Those just fuel the situation, but are not the underlying cause.
To unpack that, we need to go back in time and head to one of the DRC's neighbors, Rwanda, where in 1994 a brutal genocide was unfolding. One ethnic group had turned against another, the Hutu majority against the ruling Tutsi minority. In the end, extremist Hutus killed around 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus. During that time, many Rwandans fled across the border into the DRC, among them, some of the Hutu perpetrators. The aftermath of the Rwandan genocide still influences the conflict in eastern DRC today, and the blame game that surrounds it. Two of the biggest militias are proof of that. The FDLR started with those Hutu extremists linked to the genocide. Then there's the M23. Its members are mainly ethnic Tutsis, so the victims of the genocide. The DRC accuses Rwanda of supporting the M23, and the other way around. Rwanda says the DRC is working with the FDLR. Both governments deny that. It's messy, but bear with us. There is another key group, the ADF. It's very difficult to find pictures of them, just of what they leave behind, a trail of destruction. The Islamist militia originated in Uganda and has ties to the so-called Islamic State. Decades of fighting by these groups and many others have left around 6 million people dead since 1996.
What?
Today,
6 million?
over 7 million people in the DRC are internally displaced, the UN reports. Those people have lost everything. The Congolese army is supposed to contain the conflict, but they, like it seems to everyone else, have faced allegations of human rights abuses and corruption. And maintaining an army is costly.
The war also absorbs financial resources
No,
that
you
could
good.
be used for.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Like,
But it's like
it's tone heavy, man.
it's very heavy, but I feel like the word that everyone's dancing around is modern day slavery. Like,
Yes,
who's
exactly.
owning these people, not the
Yes.
coal, or excuse me, yes. No, you can't have any more. No, you go ahead and sit down. But
Yeah, modern
the
day
people
slavery.
who owned these mines
Yeah.
are owning people, not
Yes.
just the mines, because it's like the people essentially don't have a choice to leave.
Exactly. And when you're looking at the kids that are mining for it and them not having shoes, you can clearly see like these are people who are just going through it. Like this is beyond a tragedy, and it's been going on for so long.
Since 92, 4?
Yeah.
I think it was 4.
Yeah, because in '94 that they mentioned that was the Rwanda genocide that popped off. But I didn't think about that. Like all those people who fled during that genocide, going over to different countries, and how that influences the other countries and other tribes and people that are there and stuff like that. And, bro, like basically, a lot of these colonized or European people that come in, they make a big mess and then they just leave, and this mess just continues to snowball into other things, and then the people in the West, like clearly us and stuff like that, we're benefiting, unfortunately, for these kind of conflicts with us using our phones and computers and chips and cars. Like we're directly,
That's why I wish I could think of the name of the phone. Remember, I was telling you there's a phone that they recycle all the pieces, so we won't have to do that, and it looks just like the iPhone.
Oh wow!
Because I always wonder to myself, what does Apple do when they take your phone back? Because like half the time, like they'll take it and they won't even give you anything for it, and it won't be worth anything. They'll be like, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
And it's like because they want these spare pieces, but
right. Because they know they're valuable, but yeah.
But it doesn't seem like they're being repurposed.
Right. Like they always just want more. I think it's a greed thing. They always want more. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Stryker said, we've been sending troops, soldiers there to help, but we're getting cooked. Damn. Man, this is sad, man. This is crazy. Unfortunately, this won't stop for as long as there is a demand for smartphones and electric vehicles. Yeah.
Me personally, I'm willing to downgrade to a clamshell.
Me too.
Meet me at the green box.
We need to detox from social media and
I feel like it's coming soon enough.
Yeah, I think people need it. I know I do.
I feel like that's gonna be like that will be the closest thing to things getting to some type of normal.
Yeah, I agree.
Developing infrastructure, education, and healthcare, and so on.
Whenever I hear this
So
music,
many people keep on suffering while others profit.
I was wondering. I was like, are you about to leave?
No, I'm
Congo
like,
have had neighbors that
like
have
bro,
heavy.
like
neighbors that have exploited Congo's governance gaps.
There is no doubt that Rwanda benefits massively from the instability in the DRC.
I did not know
Most
that.
of the gold Rwanda exports
crazy.
is believed to be Congolese gold, smuggled across the border. And while the
Keep in
DRC is
mind,
the world's biggest
when
content
we were
producer,
taking a look at Rwanda, it was expensive as hell just to live there, and it wasn't even hitting on the stuff that we were seeing in other countries.
Right. Yeah.
But we're like, why is it so expensive?
Right. Yeah, and guys, we could possibly be ignorant, man, but I don't know what is going on, because I did not to see like a country like Rwanda, who we heard good things about, positive things about, black women running that country and a lot of great businesses starting up there, as being Africa's cleanest and safest country. Mm-hmm. Now having conflict.
And then this is their neighbor.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very interesting. I want to know the correlation. I want to know what's really going on here. So, I don't know.
the biggest coltan exporter is Rwanda. But despite the smuggling, the European Union struck a controversial mineral deal with Rwanda. Local NGOs say this deal even fuels the conflicts. Rwanda is not the only place these resources get to. UN experts found gold.
Don't tell me Rwanda teamed up with the ops?
Rwanda, I can't believe you.
No, I thought we was...
I thought we was niggas.
I thought we was cool, man. Wakanda forever. You giving up your vibranium?
Rwanda forever.
Okay, yo.
Rwanda is still in the vibranium.
Right. Jesus Christ. You're like Killmonger's dad. All right, anyway.
Even fuels the conflicts. Rwanda is not the only place these resources get to.
Can you go back
UN
to that
experts
picture?
found gold.
Yeah.
No,
This one?
the picture of them sitting together.
Smuggling, the European Union struck a controversial mineral deal with Rwanda. Local NGOs
This one?
The one
say this deal
when they were sitting next to
even fuels the conflicts.
that one. That's demonic. That is like, oh gosh.
You just look at her smile like, we got it.
She got that
We
politician
got the
smile.
gold.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
you know this lady has done some dirt.
She look like Hillary.
Oh yeah, right.
She look like she running. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I know you guys are gonna learn this in the comments. Like, get us hip, but yeah.
While that may be true, it takes one domino.
Yeah.
Maybe
Something
Kanye
other
needs to downgrade to a clamshell first, or Beyonce.
Kanye said Kanye was homeless for a while. He sold like all his homes, was living out of a backpack.
I don't think people like. We need to see someone like that's not black, maybe.
Elon Musk.
I think he was living out of a backpack. He just has the resources to live comfortably out of a backpack as well.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Mr.
Orange
Beast?
Man. Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. He does it. He does do it like the surviving. You know what I mean?
Bro, he like.
Surviving. The
You have a
no
limitless credit card.
Yeah.
It's like I can live out of a backpack if I don't have like it's different if you can like afford to.
Right. I was gonna say like maybe Kai, but then like how he's gonna stream.
First of all, how expensive is this backpack? You've seen how expensive these backpacks are.
Have you seen the ones that had like the letters on them and stuff like that? Like,
No.
it's like oh my god. Anyway,
How much did you spend on yours? Like
on this thing?
yeah.
I think it was a gift, honestly. I don't remember how long.
I was gonna say I remember you were backpack hunting and I seen some of the pricing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this as a gift. But that
People have resources. I think maybe like I can't see the Orange Man living out of a backpack.
Yeah, no.
He's more of a luxurious person. But
Orange Man is crazy. Who that? You know who it is.
we shall not say that name. Maybe I don't see them living out of backpacks. We need someone that to start a revolution. Because me with my clamshell, that's not going to be enough.
Right. Or another solution is like just find another resource, another material to use for the phones and stuff like that.
I'm sure they have, and they probably killed off whoever did it.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
I'm trying to think like what else could we use, but
we can just recycle the ones we've been using for the last 20 years.
Yeah, because they're not making no like new inventive products and stuff like that.
They've made the same iPhone like 7 times.
Yeah, for about 7 years.
Yeah.
So
just switched out the cameras and if that.
Yeah. And the last one that didn't even switch out the cameras is like, here's AI in your phone now. It's like I got ChatGPT. But
it's just a software update.
Yeah. Oh man, this is kind of diabolical. Oh, we are low key blocking. Hold on, I got y'all. There she go.
Oh yeah, that's the diabolical lizard lady.
The lizard lady is crazy.
Doesn't she look like me when they talk about reptilians? Like that's who comes to mind.
Does she blink?
She doesn't blink. She hisses.
There you go. Have you seen the Mark Zuckerberg? Never mind. We're about to get the conspiracy back. That's a whole nother podcast. If you want to get to the conspiracy back, let us know.
Place. Rwanda is not the only place these resources get to. UN experts found gold and other minerals from the DRC were also being smuggled to Uganda, Burundi, Tanzania, and even the United Arab Emirates.
No, not
there,
Dubai.
They make their way into international markets or into the international black market.
And again, possibly into your smartphone. So, where are we at? International efforts to tackle these problems haven't worked. Ceasefire agreements have broken into pieces. The UN's biggest ever peacekeeping mission has largely failed.
And the fact that many of the initiatives that are being driven to ensure a level of stability or a level of political goodwill keep on coming undone each and every time means that there are fairly bleak prospects for DR Congo.
So, is there at least a little hope for the Congo?
Congo needs a democratic, legitimate government that is respected and given legitimacy by the people.
To hope for a better future, a bright future, the government has to involve the local population in managing these resources.
That seems like wishful thinking for now. One of the longest running conflicts on Earth looks set to continue, and others won't stop profiting from the country's riches.
I honestly, and like, I hate that I can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel for them because the greed has so many different hands in the bucket. Like,
right. And it's almost like invisible hands too, because we know the United States is profiting off of this. We know Europe is profiting off of this, but they can't. They're not really being like ousted. You know what I mean?
Neighboring countries,
they
don't have a government. Like, and the only way it would stop is to make it not benefit all these people who are willing to kill you out it.
Yeah. It's like, what can be done? what solutions, and such a large country with so many different, people. This is tough, man. I can't even give a round of applause or anything. Like, I don't even know how to like move on from this. This is heavy. Like, the guys like real. I keep standing up. It's like I can't keep sitting still when I see and hear things like this. Like, it really irks me.
Maybe a womp. Maybe a womp.
I guess.
Womp womp.
This is not supposed to be funny. I didn't think it was gonna make me laugh.
Oh,
I was
man.
trying to prepare myself.
But this is what we
you plays the trumpet.
I did the wrong one. My bad. But this is how African American people deal with trauma. We laugh at trauma.
We laugh at our trauma.
We don't.
They probably laugh at their trauma too, in a different way.
Yeah. We don't want to make light
We're
not making light of this. We understand how serious this is. People are losing their lives over this. We're just like, this is just so dark and heavy, and we're just like trying to think of solutions. We're just learning about it too.
And you know if there is any resources that maybe we don't know about that we can help promote on our platform.
Yes.
Please send it in the chat. Send it in our DMs. Send it to our email.
Absolutely.
Free the Congo.
Free Congo, man. Like they said at the end, having a real government who cares about their people and the benefit of the country. I mean, I feel like Congo can really turn around fast if they just had good leadership, honestly. Like, all your resources is there.
Well, it seems like, remember their leader that was killed? Like, he was trying to make it so the country can benefit off their resources.
Yeah.
And it seems as though, same old story. Like, the guy gets killed by some anonymous perpetrator, and
a plane goes down, or
well, they said he got kidnapped and murdered.
Yeah, unfortunate, man.
And then you got to think about countries like this have no type of policing. They have militias.
Right. True.
And then you got to think about who's giving these people the guns.
The U.S. of A.
They're like, yeah, we're done with these. You guys can have these.
Man.
Canada too. Not sweet old Canada.
Okay.
Hey, did you see? They beefing with us now.
Yeah. They said Canada was about to be a third world country in the snow.
No maple syrup for you,
bruh.
Americans. We'll keep our maple syrup. We'll keep our lumber. We'll keep our dignity.
Bruh. Shit's crazy, man.
Thanks. Free the Congo.
Free Congo, man. I'm gonna give y'all a round of applause for love, and we, wish you guys the best, and we want to learn more. So please put it down in the comments, as well too. Yeah. I mean, I knew it was gonna be heavy, but I didn't realize how heavy. Oh shit.
It was Black History Month. It's gonna be a little heavy.
Yes, it is Black History Month.
You got to show the dark to embrace the light.
Yes. This is true. This is true. Let's see. All right. All right, guys. So the next video we're going to dive into is from our guy, Drubinski. Shout out to Drubinski. He's one of the few YouTubers that been.
I hear his name. He's Mr. Bobinski.
I don't know why she think of Dinkelberg.
I always think about Mr. Bobinski from Caroline.
Right.
I am Mr. Bobinski.
Right.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Did you get the whole time?
What you got, like a headphone or something?
Hey.
What's that with it?
I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm so fresh. My tag was still.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what you grab it back there? Like, hey, yo.
What the hell? Is there any more on here?
Bruh. All right. Shout out to the comments as well too. Starting to say in Africa, if you're a leader trying to lead your country in the honest and just direction, then your lifespan shortens because there are people at the top of the world rather have a corrupt leadership. That makes sense. The more corrupt they are, the more money everybody else can make, instead of the people on the land to benefit from. It's crazy. Shout out to them. He said, I'm an economist and I'm a capitalist. He said, in my opinion, capitalism is the cause of a lot of African economic problems because it relies on everything coming from here, be it minimal cost. And yet that is a issue with capitalism, is that you need to have a poor class in order to have a rich class. You know what I mean? So it has to be poor to be a rich, unfortunately. All right.
Top hill, top